I felt like the event did a really, really good job at kind of help people get traction in their businesses in the space to where they're able to um, get some tools, get some resources, build some relationships that can help move their the needle forward. I think B did a really, really good job at bringing people who are really, really good at what they did, and I don't think that I don't think that it mattered where you were in business, whether you're a brand new brand getting started, or a brand new entrepreneur like a lot of people were, or you know you're running an 8-figure brand like myself. Like I felt like anybody could have came in here and left with something that'll help them excel, help them exceed, and help them make a lot more money, and think in a way that doesn't necessarily require more actual work. But I think there was more so kind of a thing where it was a space of working smarter and not harder necessarily. And I think she did a really, really good job at bringing resources and information and people who could help you do that in so many different ways and so many shapes. So whether it's marketing, or whether it's investing, or whether it's understanding yourself and who you are inside, I thought she just did a really good job at just kind of covering everything, and everybody could learn from something from here, and I really, really love that the most. I think the kind of plans I want to put into place based off of what I learned here. One thing that this is funny, because we're such a cash, I run a lot of really cash heavy businesses, and businesses where I don't necessarily have to leverage personal credit and business credit. I've always paid for everything like cash, and the issue with that is that you can't build credit when you pay for everything cash. And I thought that there were a lot of, I wouldn't necessarily call them holes, but I felt like there were a lot of opportunities that I overlooked in my own business, and it was really, really eye-opening to see, or to be reminded rather, of things that I could be using to help better leverage everything that I have going on. I thought that that was, if there was one thing that I would take leaving here, was I'm super under leveraged with credit, and that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. I don't think that. I think people have this idea that because you have a business and because you're making 7-8 figures a year, that like you got it all figured out, and that things are kind of perfect or things are kind of Gucci. But it was really eye-opening to kind of break everything down to its most bare, state and basic state, and then realizing, okay, these are some holes that could help you, that could easily be filled, that could then help better leverage you for whatever, or better insulate you for something that unexpected that may come later. I think they did a really, really good job this weekend, all the speakers, at helping everybody prepare themselves in their business for worst case scenario kind of things. I think if you look at the last 2 years now with this COVID thing, a lot of businesses had super eye-opening realities that they were faced with, and I think if I wasn't in this, as heavy in the industries that I'm in, like e-commerce and online education and stuff like that, I think I would have been in a really, really bad position. Thankfully I was on the other side of the fence, that the whole COVID thing kind of helped a whole lot. But one thing I got from this weekend was, one thing I'm definitely taking away is I've got to pay more attention to the things that can help me. Just because you have a cash-heavy business that does really, really well, it doesn't mean that you can't take advantage of little things. I think that for a long time I stayed so I don't need credit. Maybe that's a little arrogant, but this was eye-opening for me this weekend, because You don't have to necessarily, one thing I got from this weekend is you don't necessarily have to use your own cash to make more cash. You can leverage credit to make more cash. And then the cash that you would have spent, you can just leave it in your bank and you could leverage someone else's. So that was really eye-opening for me. When you read like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki talks about that a lot, where, rich people use other people's money to get richer, even though they have money to spend. So that was really big for me. If I had to explain to a friend the experience about this event, I think this is something that for me is gonna be every time this happens, I'm gonna find a way to make my way here, if I can. And I think that there's certain things that you can gain from events that have thousands and thousands of people, and I think that there's certain things that you'll never get from those events, that you can only get from smaller, more intimate, kind of situations and events. I think the connections that you make with other people are really, really strong, and I think that those are some of the most important wins that you get in for your business. I think that with this kind of a conference, retreat rather, as they termed it, there are a lot of things that you get just from watching everybody else speak and listening to everyone's presentations and watching the PowerPoints and all that cool shit. But I think I learned so much more from the in-between, from being at the bars in between sessions and having lunch and dinner and outside and those kind of things. And I think a lot of that stuff is priceless. When you have super large events where there's tens of thousands of people, you lose out on those opportunities to connect and build relationships that are personal. And at the end of the day, the quality of anybody's life is determined by the quality of their relationships, and the converse of that statement is true. The quality of your relationships ultimately determine the quality of your life. And for me, I felt like I walked out of here with really great quality relationships that I can utilize later, that allows for me to learn and grow beyond the event. And so that's the one thing that I love the most about this. I think that if I had to tell a friend, hey, this is something you need to do, it's those are the reasons for me. I think that what these events that B is putting together are something that's going to make a huge difference to lots of business owners around the world, and I'm super excited to be part of this at this stage, this first event, because this is something that is never going to happen again, in this type of fashion, this type of format, and this level of intimacy. And I'm super excited to be a part of it. I'm grateful to have been here. I'm grateful for the amazing relationships that I've built here over the last couple of days, and I'm more excited just to see where this is going to go over the next couple of years and the year after that. And we're going to look up 5-10 years from now, and maybe it won't be as small and cool and connected. Maybe she'll, I don't know, but I think that I'm really excited for her and this journey, for her business, for her brand, and I'm grateful. If there's one thing I would say about all of this is I'm grateful. So.